we have another clean complex here. If you watched a snatch video, or if you've ever been coached by me, or you ever heard cues, I talk about following a roadmap. Position 1 is the floor, essentially, below the knee. Position 2 is above the knee. Position 3 is at the hip. And then we either go to shoulder or we go overhead, depending if we're going to snatch and clean. We're talking about cleans here. So one of the moves, the first that we move, I call position 2 to position 3 slides. If you saw or you heard on a snatch video, a lot of times people will get to position 2 and they try to go to their shoulder from position 2. So they'll get here and they immediately just try to pull and go up to the shoulder. The problem with this is that once we get to a certain weight threshold, for some people it could be 50% of their 1RM, for some people it could be 90% of their 1RM because they're very good at the move. Eventually, we lose control of the bar and our technique ends up having too many flaws for us to go any higher. Secondly, if we go from position 2 to the shoulder, we end up just swinging the bar. So we don't actually get a vertical push where we're extending hips and knees. We just end up getting this lean back and then try to sink back up under it. Remember, the purpose of the Olympic lifts is to emulate vertical force or jumping. So we have got to make sure that those elements exist in our technique. So all of that being said, position 2 to position 3 slides. Get in position 2, we're covering the bar with our chest, and then we're going to think about, as we stand to position 3, we're going to take our hands up to our hips. Okay, position 3 is technically right here at the very last moment. We're going to be still hovering the bar. 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Really working on keeping our hands engaged back behind us. Often, when someone goes 2 to 3, we see them separate from their body. And now we're going to end up popping the bar. Again, sends the bar out front. So we're working on 2 to 3 slides. We're going to do 2 of them. 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Then we're going to come down and do hang power cleans from position 2. So we're still going to follow the roadmap. 2 to 3, jump catch, back down. 2 to 3, jump catch. And then we finish with our front squat, whatever our front squat is. I'm not very mobile, so I have 3 fingers on the bar. Okay, sink down, come back up, bring it back down. The biggest flaw I see when coaching the Olympics is disconnection of the bar to the body. The way that we keep the bar on the body is with our lats. And I give 2 cues to keep our lats engaged. The first cue is roll your knuckles down. You'll hear anybody that's ever coached Olympic lifting give this over and over and over, because it has a tendency that when you go knuckles down, it sends tensity up the forearm, through the upper arm, into the lat. Second thing you'll hear me say is I talk about holding hands. And I actually will go up to athletes. I'll tell them put their hand back like so, and then I will put my hand behind their hand. So if you can imagine, I'm standing next to me, hand behind their hand. We're holding hands. And I will tell them to push as hard as they can against my hand. They'll feel their lat fire up, and they'll feel that tensity that we want in that back. So then I tell them to take that and apply it to position 2 and getting tight lats so that we can get to position 3 as opposed to leaving my arms out front. So work on these tips. When you're going through this complex, really think about holding hands, knuckles down, following the roadmap, and use this time early on working on technique and working with lightweight to help yourself later on down the road.